When asked about Greg Gard, Tom Izzo just said, I hope Badger fans appreciate him.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for being a part of the #1 sports podcast network. I'm just still geeked up about this game. I'm still geeked up about the Michigan State win. And I thought we could have a fireside chat for a second. Just kind of you, me, and let's just talk for a second. Because what a game, but really what a stretch. What a stretch of multiple games, top 10 wins, 3 of them in the country. And I was listening to some post-game stuff, as I think a lot of people probably do. I was listening to Tom Izzo talk about the game. And again, I've said this before. I'm a big Tom Izzo fan. I like Tom. I think he's a good coach. He's old school. And somebody asked him about Greg Gard and what Greg has done at Wisconsin. And I don't know if people caught this or not, but Coach Izzo just said, I hope they appreciate him. You know, he's done a ton of great things there. I'm paraphrasing, but he probably doesn't get the credit that some of the other coaches in the conference do. And he mentioned Painter and himself. I think that's true. I'm going to put this stat up here, and I don't know if people saw this or not. Greg Gard now has 18 top 10 wins during his tenure leading the Badgers basketball team. That matches Bo Ryan for the most top 10 wins in program history. He's not Bo Ryan. Bo Ryan was incredible. He's a 101. Bo Ryan was a GOAT. But Greg Gard has as many top 10 wins during his Badgers tenure as Bo Ryan did. And Greg's going to coach another, 15 years? Another 10 years? I mean, it's incredible what he's done this year. This might be one of his best coaching jobs this year. Now, it's got to finish out. Let's see how it plays out. But in this moment, appreciate him. I think Tom Izzo said that as well as anybody. In an era where coaches are cutthroat and mercenary, Greg is still pretty old school. He's pretty loyal. He tries to do things the right way. He's adjusted. He's adapted. He's filled the staff with Wisconsin guys. He's adapted to the portal. He's developed in-house. You look at Nolan Winter and John Blackwell, but he's also gone out and he's crushed the portal. He's been adaptable to a new system. He's changed everything about this offense the way that it was handed down from Bo Ryan to him. He's been incredible, and he's been incredible this season. And I just think you go back to what Coach Izzo said. Appreciate him. Appreciate these moments. We'll see what happens in March. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. But this is a stretch of 3 top 10 wins. You've had 2 of them on the road this season. Nobody has a better trio of wins in the country, and you just took apart Michigan State. This team's kind of special, and it's fun. And it snuck up on us. It's not that it's not, we all knew that 2014, 2015 team was going to be awesome, and that 2015, 2016 team. It didn't sneak up on us. It's still hella fun. But this team, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about a bubble team. Rajiv, who I love, is the most optimistic Badger fan ever and an incredible human being. He thought we would lose by 30 to Illinois. I thought we'd lose by 12 or 15 to Illinois. Embrace and enjoy these moments as a sports fan when a team surprises you, when they get better throughout the season. And it's not all about looking forward to what's going to happen in March and what's going to happen 2 months from now. And this moment here still means something. These wins are phenomenal, right? You're seeing the culture come together. You're seeing recruits are in the game, watching the court storming. These are how young fans become fans for life. These are how young fans become ingrained into the culture and never leave fandom. It's games like this. It's being in environments like that. It's rushing the court. These are huge moments, man. They're fun and they're enjoyable. And again, it goes back to what we've been talking about. I don't think Greg Gard's getting enough credit. Just a tremendous coaching job. And this team is fun. They're gritty. They're tough. I'm still geeked up about it. And you just go down the roster. You got contributions from everybody today. You have Nick Boyd, who's unreal, a force of nature today. Incredible performance. But then you get John Blackwell, who he gets 2 early fouls. He has to sit out. And a lot of players, that throws them off. They come back in the game. They rush their shots. They're not engaged or whatever happens. He was phenomenal, man. 20 points. He had 20 or 24 points today. In 27 minutes? 4 rebounds, a couple steals. He was great. He was locked in. Tom Izzo raves about John Blackwell, by the way. Tom Izzo talks about John Blackwell like he's a war hero coming home from a successful crusade. I don't know if I've ever heard an opposing coach talk so highly about a different player. He loves John Blackwell. And then you got Nolan Winter. You want to talk about culture setter. By the way, you don't think he picked some of this up from Stephen Crowell? We talked about the culture of Stephen Crowell, how hard he worked. Nolan Winter, he does all the dirty work, sets a ton of screens, runs the court, battles in the front court, leads the team in rebounds, and he gets 7 shots. There are so many players who, if they had the talent of Nolan Winter, their ego would not allow them to take 7 shots in a game. They would pout. They would get frustrated. They would disrupt chemistry. They wouldn't pass the ball. They would jack bad shots. Then they would have bad body language. Then they wouldn't sprint down the court. Watch Nolan Winter sprint the court and tell me this team doesn't have culture. Culture comes from the coaching staff. It comes from the pillars that Bo Ryan put in place, but the pillars that Greg Gard has by now extended. This team is just so easy to root for. With Blackwell homegrown, Winter homegrown, Boyd all heart. And then you have Bialuskis, who, again, in the first half, I don't think it was a great first half for him. And then the second half, monster rebound, people all over him, 3 blocks. Played really, really good. Alston Rapp coming off the bench, getting a couple threes. Braden Carrington, 9 points in 19 minutes. Janicki, who hit a big 3. I mean, that was a big 3 at a point where Michigan State was starting to rally a little bit. And you got to love the fact that he took it. Because if you're going to be there and they're going to leave you, you got to take that shot. And for everyone that's here with me, it is like 1 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're having a fireside chat, just talking about appreciation. This isn't like a regular show. We're not going to do ad reads. We're just talking for a sec. What a game, right? It makes me proud to be a Badger fan, right? It makes me proud to have a guy like Greg Gard running that program. It was going to do things the right way. You know that for a fact because of the people he has on staff, because of who he learned from. And it's a guy that our team that just doesn't ever give up. They play hard. They play consistent. The culture's there, and they're deep 1 through 10. Sean Campbell says, great win tonight. Love seeing the growth throughout the year. Unbelievable, right? Now you got to keep it going. It's middle of the season, but why would you bet against them right now? Why would you think they're not going to? They're healthy. They're gelling. The young players are coming along. There's Mehmet down here says, is there a better coach using the portal than Gard? Listen, certainly there's teams that do really well in the portal. UConn has done really well in the portal to augment what they do in recruiting. But he's got to be up there. And he's got to be up there with, quite frankly, not a budget the size of UConn. He's got to be up there with, he's been incredible. I mean, AJ Storr, home run. Who, by the way, as soon as he leaves Wisconsin, falls off the map. Nick Boyd, home run. John Tonje, home run. Braden Carrington, home run. Austin Rapp looks like a solid get now. Bialuskis, again, young player, looks like a solid long-term bet now. You can go down the list. Like, he's been incredible. Kamari McGee was a portal pickup. You have a couple misses here and there. Nobody bets 1,000, but he's been insane. And imagine what he could do with a bigger budget, right? And wins like this will, I think, help get you a bigger budget. It helps you donors be more excited. You can see the return on investment. Just an incredible job this year. He's been an absolutely incredible. He's done a great job this year getting this team to gel. Cole says, tough, gritty win. The Cole Center was rocking. Man, he learned from the best. And Bo Ryan. Zach Barrett's good friend of the show. Love my dude, Zach. Greg Gard's portal finds have been underrated too. Boyd, Tonje, Storr. But again, even some of the depth pieces, right? Carrington, tremendous get. You look at Tua Kamari, was a tremendous get. Klesmit was a portal pickup. The dude's batting like 750 in the portal. I mean, Amos, but not a swing and a miss. Amos gave you some good minutes against some teams. He's been great, man. He's been absolutely great. By the way, you look at some of the players, Cameron Hunter, who he brought in. Cameron Hunter got sick last year. Never really found his footing. He's playing really well right now. That was probably another guy that Greg Gard identified, and it just didn't work out in Madison. But, yeah, he's got an eye for talent. Shan King says, only thing I haven't seen is a positive result when the threes aren't falling. I hate to be negative, though, because this team is super special. Yeah, I'll be interested if they have a team where they shoot, or a game where they shoot really poorly, what this team looks like. But with the way Boyd gets in the paint, here's the thing. Scouting reports are built on not just in the moment of a game. So teams are going to have to start respecting what Austin Rapp is now bringing, what Carrington's bringing. They're getting shot making everywhere. It's going to be hard for teams, I think, to keep Boyd and Blackwell out of the paint. This was more difficult, right, when Carrington didn't really have that type of closeout going against him early in the year. Teams have learned that you got to close out hard on him. And then you had Janicki getting more minutes, and he wasn't a shooting threat. The offense has spaced out more now because you're seeing more minutes from Carrington, more minutes from Rapp. Rhodey can shoot it. Essentially, the top 7 are all shooters now. And that wasn't the case as much earlier in the year, where teams were a little more worried about maybe penetration in some spots. But the team, the way it's shot it lately, it's created issues for teams where even if in a game they go cold, I think teams are still going to close out hard because the scouting report is going to tell them to, because all those guys can hit shots. And then Boyd and Blackwell are going to be able to get in the paint. Then it says Rapp is a very smart player. Yeah, I've liked the IQ there. I think it's a really good point, man. I think he's playing smart. He's playing hard. He's still got some physical limitations, and he still makes some young mistakes. But I like the growth there. And he's a guy that if you can keep him for a couple of years, now you never know in the portal. But again, I just wanted to take a second and just again say what a stretch. What a great job by Coach Gard. And as Coach Izzo said, I appreciate him. Really do appreciate what we've done, what we've seen here, and being a part of this. It's awesome. It's awesome being a Badger fan when the teams are playing well. So on Wisconsin, again, just a quick fireside chat. I just wasn't ready to go to sleep. And I was like, let's go turn it on and fire it up and talk a little bit more. Big time game by the Badgers. Bunch more content coming up this week. I think we got Payne coming on. I think we have some people that have some connections. Zion Kearney coming on. So good insight into the receiver from Oklahoma there. By the way, a couple things I've heard he has turned heads. I've heard some of the quarterbacks have turned heads already in some of the workouts. So I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling good buzz on Wisconsin. Happy weekend, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Badgers, and we will definitely talk to you again tomorrow.